Love is in the air, Tony. It's episode 18 of Win Me the Lottery, and I think it might just be Valentine's Day this week.
It certainly is. It's that time of year. It's February, and I think I see a lot of nervous men around me. Because some that
Your dad.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of them. But I guess they're not nervous. I think they're only nervous if they haven't planned anything. Because, let's be honest, some men and women take Valentine's quite seriously. And you don't want to be the one that's dropped the ball if all the lovely ladies have gotten something for Valentine's and your missus has nothing.
Yeah. Imagine, on the group chat, on WhatsApp or whatever, they're all comparing their gift. What's she going to do if she's got nothing to text in there?
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, okay, let's be honest, and it is our topic of the week later, is where we really explore, is Valentine's Day really about love, or is it really a commercial day to make money?
I don't want to comment just yet.
We'll delve into it.
It is a day of love. It is a day of love, and we can't take that away. But yeah, we will get into that a little bit later on. But yeah, Tony, obviously this weekend as well was action-packed. There was a scoreline in the football that I saw yesterday that took me aback, knocked me for six. Yeah,
I mean, I was loving it. And I'm not talking about the Mackie D's that I had over the weekend, is that it was 6-0 to Arsenal. And I did feel a little bit ambivalent about that score because I have a soft spot for Moyes.
Yeah, you love David Moyes, don't you?
Yeah, he looks like a good guy, and just to see him so downtrodden with the score, and let's be honest, what happened to West Ham? They were so open, and we could have had more than 6. We could have had 8, really. But it is what it is. If you weren't celebrating the Arsenal score, I'm not sure if you watched the Super Bowl, Chris. Or...
Absolutely not.
Are you?
I did watch. I got free tickets to the NFL when it was in Tottenham a couple of years ago.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Tony. They've got Beavertown beer on tap that they serve really quickly. It's the one that goes through the bottom of the plastic glass, if you like, the plastic cup. They've got good food. I had a good day out.
I wouldn't normally think about going to that stadium for obvious reasons, because the enemy actually has that stadium. But I've never seen a live NFL game before, and one of the things that I would love to do is actually learn the actual rules to know what the hell's going on.
It's just impossible, Tony. It's just the most boring sport. Fair enough. As I said, you get good food, good drink. They play Rihanna every few minutes. That's what the best part is. But the sport itself, it's just stop and start. No idea what the rules are. And actually, that match was quite thrilling at the end because it was decided with the last kick of the game, a bit like, I believe, the Super Bowl yesterday. But I was thinking, if that's the most dramatic match there is, it went on for about 4 hours, Tony.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm hoping it's like snooker. Like, for me as a kid, I remember watching my dad, have the snooker on the TV, and I'm like, this is boring as hell. But then as I got older, I learned the rules of snooker, and I was like, this is riveting. This is amazing.
You quite like it now?
Yeah, I love snooker. And I'm hoping it's the same when I actually understand the rules of American football, because one of the things is that it wasn't me, but when I was in school, people always said, oh, Tony, if you were in high school in America, you would be the quarterback. And I never really understood what that meant.
What does it mean?
Like, because the quarterback in American high school is like the cool guy that is the popular and getting the girls. And they're like, oh, Tony, you be the quarterback. I'm like, I don't know how the game works. How can I be the quarterback? But I love the small bits in popular culture and films when they talk about American football. Like, have you seen the film Remember the Titans? That is an American football film that is quite inspirational. Any Given Sunday, that inspirational speech by Al Pacino, incredible.
Oh yeah,
absolutely incredible. So, and Ace Ventura. I mean, I don't follow American football, but I would say I'm a Miami Dolphins fan just because of the film Ace Ventura. That was based around American football. But hey, if you didn't watch the Super Bowl, I didn't watch it, and there's other things to celebrate.
New beginnings, Tony.
What do you mean in the new year?
The Lunar New Year, which I believe was it Saturday, the first day of the new year, the year of the dragon. And I was thinking, if you had to be born in any year, the year of the dragon's quite good, isn't it? Because you compare that to the year of the rat. You don't really want to be born in the year of the rat, do you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm year of the rabbit, but that's the Chinese version is year of the rabbit. The only difference in the Vietnamese version is year of the cat.
What do you mean? So there's an additional...
Yeah, basically the only difference from it is that instead of the rabbit, it's the cat in the Vietnamese version.
So you would be a cat.
Yeah, year of the cat.
In Vietnam, you're a cat.
Yeah.
And in China, you're a rabbit.
Yeah, it's interesting. Right. I don't know how that came about. I should research that.
We should figure that out.
But yeah, I think there's lots of celebrations happening. I didn't go into Chinatown this year.
Well, I actually was nearby, funnily enough, on Sunday. And it was crowded. But yeah, I actually even saw a little bit of the parade going past.
Oh, nice.
And the best bit was they shut down all the roads. Which I think is so much better when you're walking around. You know how crowded it is around there. And you just said you could walk anywhere on the main roads around Soho. So
was there like food stalls and everything? Did you?
I didn't want to get too close to it all. But yeah, so my girlfriend's friend was over this weekend. And with the Lunar New Year, she said, why don't we go around Chinatown? We see a bit of the parade. I was thinking, oh my God. And in hindsight, funnily enough, it really was quite crowded. It may not have been the best idea to get down there. But nonetheless, I just want to say to everybody out there, Happy New Beer.
No, definitely. I mean, it's good to go if you haven't been, but I'm like the same thing. Like, I want to avoid the crowds. It's like, I've never been to Notting Hill Carnival.
Oh,
have you been?
Yeah, I've been once. Never again.
Never again.
Not that I'm against it. I just don't like the big crowds. You know, I think you should go once. So I've done now Lunar New Year. I count that. I've done Notting Hill. And what are the other ones? St. Patrick's Day. I mean, I'm half Irish.
Yeah.
My girlfriend was going on about that as well. Should we go to St. Patrick's Day parade?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just go down.
Wait, when is St. Patrick's? Is that in March?
March, yeah.
17th. March something. Okay. I mean, do they still wear the Guinness hats with the?
Probably.
Okay. That is like a good laugh. Right. I guess if we go into first segment, which is last Saturday's Lotto draw, what was the jackpot? Well, it was actually a rather tasty 11.7 million.
Fantastic. About bloody time.
Yeah, we're in the lovely double digits there, 11. And what were the winning numbers? So it was 4, 19, 24, 29, 43, 53, and the bonus ball was 34. We got machine name Lancelot and ball set 10.
I'm just glad, we were afraid, weren't we, that they're going to get rid of those Knights of the Round Table machine names. But thank goodness Lancelot's still there, so not yet.
And it's good that Gwyneth gets a rest as well.
Yeah, she's been on it every single weekend.
So what were our numbers? So it was 3, 8, 11, 20, 37 and 55. Unfortunately, we had 0 matches.
Can I just ask, this was on Saturday. When was the Lunar New Year? Was it on Saturday?
I think it was.
So the year of the dragon has not brought us any luck at all so far.
No.
If anything, it's got worse than usual. We're below average here.
You know what it was? There's actually a tradition when they say you shouldn't clean your house.
Yeah, I heard that.
Because then you're sweeping away the wealth.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking to myself, did I clean something over on the Friday or the Saturday? I might have done that kind of affected
I bet you just wiped the
Well, there was a big piece of shit on the floor, so I couldn't leave it. What would you do?
Who's responsible for that?
No comment. Imagine that. You had imagine this. Someone's literally vomited on your bed for whatever reason. Are you just going to leave it? Look, I'm going to sleep on it for the weekend.
Sleep on the sofa or sleep on the sofa?
Sleep on the sofa until after... Okay, that's one way of looking at it. The only positive out of that was that it's rolling over. So that's a good thing.
So if we didn't win, we're just happy that nobody else did. And from 11.7 million, we could be talking telephone numbers soon.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, that's good just to have in your bank account. But what could you generate from?
Well,
that?
that's the thing. If you win 11.7 million, it seems to go even higher. We've been talking about it. You can still get yourself a really decent place for around a couple of mil, right? Mm-hmm. So, with £10 million left over, you put that into your savings, 5% interest, very much achievable at the moment. That's 300 grand a year in interest.
But
after tax.
That is...
For a higher rate taxpayer.
That is quite nice. You wouldn't even, if you wanted to be quite sensible, you could just go, I won't touch I just have 10 million.
1.7 million. Touch that.
Yeah.
Go crazy. Get yourself a nice place. Spend on a few other things.
Yeah.
10 million. 300 grand a year. You're just breaking it in.
Yeah.
Spend that.
Don't go too crazy. Like, what was some of the prices at the Super Bowl VIPs could pay for?
Oh, yeah. Was it up to 2 million or something like that?
Yeah, probably for the most expensive ticket. But I saw, from what I read at the Super Bowl, there's these kind of club seats that they had by near the touchline. So you know those seats that are like, it's like a crescent shape. They're like that kind of leather looking thing.
Yeah.
A table where you probably have the crystal. I think it was like 200 grand or something for those. So, I mean, that would be majority of your year's interest.
Maybe 300 grand a year isn't quite as good as we were thinking. It's all economies of scale.
It's all about lifestyle, yeah.
But yeah, and I just want to say, before we move on to the missives and messages we've had come in this week, let's not forget the African Cup.
Oh, yes.
And congratulations to Côte d'Ivoire, the Ivory Coast, 2-1 on their home turf. They beat Nigeria 2-1 and thoroughly deserved it last night, Tony. And a great story because they came third in their group and only got through to the last 16 as one of, I think, the fourth best third-place finishers. The fourth and final third-place finisher from the group stages. So there are 4 third-place finishers who get through. And they actually sacked their manager before they got through because they thought there was no chance they would.
Oh, well, wait, so they got through by the skin of their teeth
they finished
into the knockout stages?
They lost 2 games. Okay. They lost 1 game 4-0, sacked the manager, and then in the knockout rounds, I think they won 1 game on penalties, 1 in the last minute, 1 in extra time, things like that. And they had lost to Nigeria in the group stage, and then they beat them soundly in the final with their caretaker manager at the helm.
Incredible. And they were the hosts. So this is the host winning the actual tournament.
Yep.
Which we haven't seen for a while, isn't it? Yeah.
And we should also congratulate Qatar, who won the Asian Cup, which I couldn't believe that. Qatar-Jordan was the final. It's normally Japan or Korea, I would have thought.
I should watch it. I don't watch it. But yeah, it just seemed bizarre that Jordan and Qatar would immediately come to my head. Because you always think like the soccer kind of powerhouses is like Japan and South Korea. But there you go, Qatar. I mean, they hosted, was it the World Cup? Yeah, it was the World Cup.
Didn't even get out of the group stage.
Well, now clearly the investment is working.
And even the Saudis, do you remember Saudi Arabia beat Argentina, didn't they, in the World Cup?
Oh,
they didn't get to the final either. Jordan.
I didn't even know they had a team.
I didn't even know Katie Price played for them. But anyway, should we get on to the emails?
Go
and messages. So, don't forget, you can follow, subscribe, like, message us. Win Me the Lottery is what you need to search on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Or you can email us on tony.win.lotto@gmail.com. And Tony, we've had an email in from Emma in Clifton, and this is a great one. Great for us and for our listeners anyway. Emma said, because we did mention we were talking Valentine's Day on the show this week, I've been dating my boyfriend for 10 years. I'm happy the way things are, but he's been dropping hints about getting married. The other day, I saw an order confirmation from Tiffany's in his emails. I'm really worried about what to do. Do I tell him I'm happy the way things are, or should I go ahead if he proposes? Tony.
Doesn't say how old she is. Maybe she's still quite young.
And I was going to say to you, well, yeah, exactly. They might have started dating when she was 11, 21. But, I mean, I hope she's changed her name or location.
Yeah.
Emma in Clifton. How many Emmas are there in Clifton who's about to get proposed to? But yeah, I mean, what do you think? I think you saying you're happy the way things are. I'm going to pick that one out. I'm really worried about what to do. I'm going to pick that one out. Emma, if that's the case, you've got to stay true to what you believe, which it sounds to me, you don't want to get married to this bloke.
I think
Not right now, anyway.
it's weird. I think, as humans, I mean, people are different. When someone hears some big news, they might immediately know what the right answer is. Like, oh, amazing, I'm super happy.
Yeah.
Some people might, the initial shock of it, they need to kind of
Process it.
that's the word, process
and
it.
be logical about it.
Yeah. They go, she might be like okay, she can't be in her because it's 10 years. Okay, she could be early 20s or something. She goes, I'm not ready. Or she could be in the late 30s and she goes, she should be ready.
Yeah.
But I think
She damn well ought to be ready.
yeah, or whatever, there could be different kind of.
Well, it's
different
as you
scenarios.
say, people are different. Some are more driven by that emotion and instinct.
Yeah.
And others are more that kind of logical, they need to piece things together.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe she does need a bit more time to think about it.
I think she should be pleased. It's not a order confirmation from Margos. It's Tiffany's.
Yeah, it's Tiffany's, yeah.
Or Pandora or whatever. How does she know it's even for her?
Well, that's a
Has
very
anyone
good
seen Love
point.
Actually?
Love Actually, yeah.
So
Oh my goodness,
I think she should
this
play
could turn
dumb
it
for
on its
this
head.
and just, I think just go with the flow. Whatever in that moment, if it does happen, just go with your.
Some people
initial
can
reaction.
be pressured. If he gets down on one knee, even though she doesn't want to do it, she feels like she has to.
Yeah. I think, just say yes and she can always get divorced later. That's what I'd say. Just put the problem behind you. You might actually.
Tomorrow's
enjoy it.
problem.
Yeah.
Future me's problem. But yeah, I mean, let's just hope she doesn't get a Joni Mitchell CD. Because that was what it was in Love Actually, wasn't it? Joni Mitchell CD.
Right.
I
don't remember.
And
I just remember the bit when she discovered the.
yeah, she discovered the gift before. And she said,
Yeah.
oh, that's going to be nice. Glad he's getting me something different.
Oh,
But
it's
he
got
actually got her a Joni. So she opened it as a Joni Mitchell CD.
I remember the tears. I was quite
She's
sad.
great, though, isn't she? And here, both of those two.
Actually, the star of the show was Rowan Atkinson. Who
He was funny, yeah.
That was quite good. But all I would say, what's her name? It's Emma.
Yeah, Emma Clifton.
I think it's all good. She'll still have a boyfriend in time for Valentine's, right? So she's not going to be alone.
At least you won't be lonely.
Yeah.
Because that's the worst thing that can happen.
See, ride it out to Valentine. Maybe she's going to propose on Valentine's Day.
Well, I think that's
Is that what she's saying?
probably why she... Yeah, I think so. Because obviously we mentioned last week we were going to talk Valentine's on the show. So I think that's what she thinks on Valentine's Day is going to pop the question. But as I say, or as you said, Tiffany's could be something else. It could be a bracelet. It could be a necklace or something. You just want
It's
to
a bit
treat
corny
you.
to propose on Valentine's.
Yeah, I think so. Especially depending on where they go.
Yeah.
If it's in a restaurant, Italian restaurant, local. Or
She's
something.
jumping to conclusions thinking it's a proposal. Maybe that's what she really wants inside, deep down.
She's manifesting it.
She's manifesting it. Okay. Funny enough, there was another message that we had that I thought I'd share. And I think the good thing is that we mentioned Valentine's Day was the next episode, last episode. And it's kind of given people...
The initiative almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To go, I know what the next episode is. I'm going to actually email in.
Yeah. So we better do
my
that
thoughts.
later as well.
Yeah, I don't know what the next one is. We'll figure it out.
We'll make it up on the spot.
So this is actually an email from Jacob from Surbiton. And he says that he's been dating his girlfriend Clara for only 2 weeks. So it's a new relationship.
So they've only been together for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's by the way, that's an awkward one for Valentine's.
Yeah. What do you do?
mark the occasion, or do you just?
What's the expectations, isn't it? You're like
know.
2 weeks. It's like, do I get something? I don't. I think you should.
It's always best when in doubt, just do it.
Just do it.
Do what you
Anyway,
think
it could be a
the
small
right
thing. You go
thing
as long as you're covered. Yeah.
Yeah, just like a box of chocolate or chocolate and prosecco
Yeah.
or something if she drinks.
Or like
Get her hammered.
just a little bit of flower, a rose or something.
Yeah, one rose plucked out of a garden.
And when you present it to her, make sure you're biting it.
Yes.
And then you give it to her.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's saying it's only 2 weeks. And this is unfortunate. It kind of linked into the other episode. He says, so he's only been dating Clara for 2 weeks when he had diarrhea. So maybe they went and ate something a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
So that is awkward after 2 weeks. But he said that Clara helped look after him. So it sounds like food poisoning.
Yeah.
And cleaned up the bathroom without complaining one bit.
That's lovely. That's
true
when
love.
You know you've met the one.
That is true love. When someone's cleaning up, your diarrhea mess that's been sprayed all over your bathroom, and they didn't complain once, that's a keeper.
That's a keeper.
He said. So Jacob said he thought he had found true love until she cheated on him. Oh, dearie me. Okay, I thought that was actually a positive story. But you know what?
Jacob.
You know what? I think
this is why we should read the emails properly before we put them on.
It could still be salvageable. It could be salvageable.
Yeah.
It depends.
Oh my goodness. Maybe this Valentine's we can get them back together just to... Mind you, if she cheated on him, that is quite bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was so nice of her, cleaning up the bathroom. Probably she stayed with him the whole day.
Maybe he didn't say thank you.
Yeah?
He goes, thank you for cleaning up the... maybe that's why she felt she wasn't appreciated. Maybe she felt someone giving her attention.
To be fair, maybe she thought, because it was Valentine's Day or something, he'd left little bits of chocolate around the bathroom for her. And then when she tasted it, she was like, this guy's very weird. I need to try something else.
Oh, okay, that was a great story. Sorry. So yeah, moving on, I guess. This is actually to our topic of the week is...
Topic of the week, which is, of course, Valentine's Day.
So this is I think this is not a contentious day. Because there are, when I speak to people, two different sides to these things. Some people that say, oh, it's a great thing to celebrate. Other people go, oh, it's just a commercial day. We don't really give a crap. Why are we celebrating our expression of love on this day when we should be doing it throughout the year? Year round. And another sad thing that I've seen online is that for the people that are single, I think I saw this on Reddit, someone wrote the top comment was, Valentine's Day is just another day to remind single people how lonely they are. And I remember being in that situation.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know about you, Chris. Do you remember being single around Valentine's Day? Did it affect you?
No, I don't think I ever cared. It's a good chance to go out, have a few drinks with your mates. It depends on what stage of your life you're at, right? If you're getting a bit older, all your other mates are in a relationship and you're not. And you haven't got anyone to spend it with. You know what, the girls would do galentines.
To go out and night out.
Yeah, so they'll go, all the girls will go out, they do galentines if they're single. I don't know what it's called for blokes, you just got it blokentines. But yeah, if you get a bit older, all your mates are lovey-dovey, they're sending that in the group chat box as well on WhatsApp. Oh, look at me, my mister. Then I can see what you mean.
Yeah.
Other way around as well.
Yeah, I remember feeling quite down and awkward. Valentine's Day, you're like, I should be in a relationship, or look at these couples. Yeah,
societal expectations thrown on you.
Yeah, especially when you're in the office, maybe, and it feels like.
Well, normally that's why it can be awkward when I come in the office. I've got like 20 Valentine's cards in my locker.
Yeah.
From question mark.
Yeah, it's like. I don't know. It's just another day that to express. Love and all that type of things. But, you have to appreciate that there are people that don't enjoy it for obvious reasons.
It would be a good prank, though, wouldn't it? If basically you went in the office on Wednesday, but you sign a Valentine's card from someone else to someone.
That is a great... If you're a single lady, why not order a bunch of roses delivered to you for your name, but you did it yourself. So it looks like you got a secret admirer.
Yeah.
So you could save face that way. Everyone come around. Yeah. Look at this. Thingy's got like someone sent her a bed of roses.
You could make it into a real drama. Just say, "Oh wow, I've just received a bouquet of flowers."
Yeah.
From question mark. I wonder who this is.
And if you want to go over the top, you could do 2 or 3.
And also have 2 or 3, and put some clues, so that everybody starts thinking about it, and one of them makes clear that it's someone in the office.
Get the gossip going. That would be quite funny.
Brilliant.
But yeah, for me, I think Valentine's Day is. I have no real strong opinions of it. I would celebrate it to not massive, but to a small degree.
Do you tend to find it quite steamy?
Well, no, I think it's just kind of a cute day.
It's a cute day. Yeah, it's a chance just to express your love to one another.
Spend more money than you normally would for a meal outside. Why not?
You're going prezzo, by the way.
No, I think we're just going to go to a
Pizza.
nice quaint pub.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
You can't say which one because.
Oh yeah, no, it's very exclusive. Very exclusive.
Weatherspoons. We'll come on to that later.
Oh yeah, you've got some great information about Weatherspoons. But one of the things that I wanted to kind of look at when it comes to Valentine's Day is just a bit of research about it. What are people saying? What is the news talking about Valentine's Day? And what did I find? So basically, I saw this on the New York Post, out of all places, and it says, research reveals the non-negotiable pieces of a Valentine's Day date. So I guess the research is basically a survey of 1,000 Gen Z and 1,000 millennials who are seeking a partner. So they looked into uncover the anatomy of the perfect Valentine's Day date. So when it comes to food elements, desserts reign superior. So 41% expect a dessert. I don't know, Valentine's Day is all about the sweet stuff. Chocolates, strawberries, whatever.
Whipped cream.
Narrowly beating out the entree, so that's the main...
All right, so entree 40% and far beyond the appetizers or sides, right?
So I'm thinking that if you were short on cash and you're on a date, you're like, look...
Just dessert, go to a
just
dessert
go straight
place.
to dessert. Because the research has showed that, that's the most important thing. So you go, can we just split a cheesecake? Happy Valentine's Day. Why not?
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good idea.
Ideally, Valentine's Day dates should begin with flowers or a gift.
41% of people said that.
Yeah.
I mean, what they're not including here is how far into the relationship are you?
Okay, so if you're 2 weeks in, like Jacob, what gift do you think is appropriate for those that are listening?
Well, that's what we were saying. I think just something small, as we said, like probably a diamond ring. no, but just a small thing of chocolate.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that, Tony? Or, we come back to this again, just say, look, I'm trying to save the planet day in, day out.
Yeah.
Right? Here is a metallic straw. So never again do you need to use a plastic straw, and you won't have the structural integrity problems that come with a paper straw.
Yeah.
And who knows? You might be able to use that straw for other stuff. I don't know, later on in the night.
No, you're right. I completely agree with you, Chris. I mean, I think...
Sucking up the whipped cream.
Yeah, I think a small gift and, I suppose one of the questions I was thinking about is that if you're, married and you've been married for 25 years...
Heaven forfend. Yeah.
For those that are lucky enough to be 25 years into marriage... Is this still a big deal? Is there still expectations for gifts and like Valentine's dinners at a restaurant on Valentine's Day?
It's like I say, how are you going to keep outdoing it year in, year out, Tony, with Valentine's Day? And maybe it keeps the spark alive.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You know what? It could be I could just view it as like Christmas. So at Christmas, you've got to have the Christmas tree, you've got to do presents. So Valentine's Day could just be another day where you go, let's just do a dessert. As they said, the research. We'll go out and have a nice dessert somewhere. If you want to be cheap or go...
But you can cook at home.
Yeah.
Just go and get some really good steak out of the butcher's. Sizzle that one up. Isn't that good enough? Peppercorn sauce?
I mean, we are in a cost of living crisis. So I think that's important context. But another important thing about the research is that, it said Valentine's Day dates should begin with flowers or gift 41%, or being picked up from their home by their date, 33%. Is this an
that's
American?
separate.
Is this an American teen drama?
Oh, yeah, and
Who
it's
does
like,
that?
well, in America, you've got to go and grab them in
this is
the
the New
car.
York Times. Yeah. Though 30% Gen Z would prefer sweet treats compared to 24% of millennials.
I don't think I've ever gone on a date where I went and picked somebody up. Maybe that's like a London living thing, but you can just get the tube and meet at the place.
Yeah. Yeah, because they don't do that thing where they drive up in the car and then they...
Yeah.
I suppose if people live out of London, that might be a thing.
Yeah, it probably is, you're right.
And then it goes on to say that the date should then continue with going out to dinner, 59%, or to a movie, 33%.
Really? On Valentine's night, a movie?
I think they've been watching too many movies and how dates should be.
Yeah.
And it was some form of togetherness, whether it be alone time with their date, 48%, or a goodnight kiss.
Wow, so 43% of people would at least have the goodnight kiss. But again,
didn't say
it doesn't stipulate how long they've been together.
Yeah. Let me guess, in the back of a car watching a movie.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it's not that most riveting research. But...
Well, there you go. For their sweet treat, respondents would choose. Okay, so everybody says they must have a dessert. Chocolate dipped strawberries is the main one. That sounds nice. Cheesecake, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
So 49% chocolate dipped strawberries, 45% cheesecake, and then chocolate mousse, 28%.
Strawberry ice cream, 25%. So it's almost like a...
It's got to be chocolate dipped strawberries. But I haven't seen whipped cream coming up, and I do think whipped cream is an essential component of any Valentine's night.
I think if you want to make sure that your Valentine's Day is that extra special, I think the whipped cream is key here.
It's really key. And that's what you could do. Let's say you pick them up for the date, as they were saying. Okay, we were saying maybe you could get chocolates, Prosecco, or whatever. Why don't you just whip out your can of whipped cream and spray them a bit?
Are we talking about literal can? Or?
Yeah, well, yeah. Just take the can of whipped cream out.
Yeah. No, exactly. I suppose, there's an element of a cost with Valentine's Day, whether it's gifts or going out for a meal, movies, and that type of stuff. But since this podcast is about the lottery, and if you won the lottery, how extravagant could you be on Valentine's Day?
Well, this is what I'm getting really worried about again.
Yeah.
Because imagine when we do win this jackpot, again, you start off with something incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to be. You get a private jet.
Yeah.
You take them to Paris, the city of love. You get those chocolate dipped strawberries with a croissant.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Then you go along to the Bahamas or whatever. How are you going to top that year in, year out? And as we said, it's not an everlasting pot of money. Okay, maybe you get your 300 grand interest per year.
Yeah.
So again, you're just going to have to keep trying to outdo yourself. What do they call it, Tony? Under promise, over deliver.
I think you make some good points. My immediate reaction to if I won the lottery, my mind immediately went to rose gold Rolex for some reason. Because I'm thinking a Rolex, quite extravagant, rose gold, the colour for Valentine's. But then I actually took a step back and said, look, what's been happening lately? There's been a rife of robberies of expensive watches in London. So I said to myself, why would I put my loved one in danger?
Good point.
If I gave her a rose gold coloured Rolex, that would be absolutely irresponsible to do.
So basically, what you could do instead, and I really get your point here, Tony, send her an e-card, right? And it just says, darling, please be aware that I have made the decision to protect you forevermore. My love, you're getting this e-gift card in lieu of the rose gold Rolex I would have bought you had I not realised that you would have been attacked on the streets of London.
Yeah.
Lots of love, yours truly, Tony.
And I think it's true because then it shows that it's the thought that counts. You thought about doing it, but it's not the right thing to do.
But you thought it through properly.
Yeah. Who would want, would you want your missus to be brutally attacked?
No.
And robbed?
Absolutely not.
for her watch. And then I think, so I think when it comes to winning a lottery, I would go, look, based on the research, we can have starter, entree, and dessert. We can go to the movies. We can go to see 2 films that night. Yeah. Let's really push the boat out.
Get an Odeon Unlimited card.
Yeah, Odeon Unlimited cards. Have a few variations of different chocolates, I would say. But yeah, I would say if you won the lottery, it'd be a bit of a non-issue, isn't it? It'll be... I'll happily celebrate every year.
Yeah, the only other thing I'd say about gifts is, like, can you find a gift where... You know how you can get them... get people a bracelet with... You add a charm to it every year or something like that. Is there a sort of sustainable gift where you get it once and then it just becomes something every year? It's predictable and it's just a cute thing.
You know what? You could get a little charm, a Valentine's charm for every single year that you add to the bracelet, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I mean.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. And that's just something between you two that you do every year. But yeah, Tony, while we were on this, I don't know if you saw the news this morning, or this weekend, I should say, where there's a new dating app. So for those people who are single this Valentine's Day, fear not, because I think it's launching in time for Valentine's Day in the US, and it's called Score. This is a new dating app where you need a high credit score to be eligible for your profile to be approved on this dating app. And you have to do one of those credit score checks before you actually get approved for the app. And this all kicked off. Apparently, there was something that went viral of someone on Hinge or something, or Bumble, where this lady put her credit score as one of her photos. And actually, she got loads of matches. And it is... I don't want to get too much into this, Tony, but could it be important? If you're a lottery winner... You probably want somebody who you know can kind of pull their own in the relationship. Mm-hmm. For example, if we win the lottery, let's say, people are going to know. Yeah. Quite often people publicise it.
Yeah. But we wouldn't do that. I don't know, it depends.
Oh, we would never do something like that.
We'll have a good cover story, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But we could change our minds.
But there might be people who go public and they're single and may win the lottery... They might not, anybody is going to approach you now.
Yeah.
They know you've won, however much it is.
Is that true love?
Is that true? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this could be a good way of doing it. What do you think? Credit scores?
I just find it kind of hilarious. It's called Score.
Yeah.
What do guys call getting with a girl? That's a score.
Yeah.
Is this like a... It sounds like it could be a gambling app.
Yeah.
But hey... These are modern times, it could be... women could start calling, I want to score tonight. Yeah, anyone could say it, really. I think there's probably is a market for that because, let's be honest, that a lot of marriages end in divorce due to money arguments.
And Tony, people have secrets.
Yeah.
People have secrets. And if you're meeting on a dating app, you don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
It's not an organic... growth of a relationship with somebody who you get to know first. So this just says, right, there's no skeletons in your cupboard. You haven't had your home repossessed, etc., etc. You can stand on your own 2 feet. Let's go for it.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. I guess there's a market for it. Yeah. If actually, could you set yourself almost like a parameter of what matches you want based on credit score, probably?
Possibly.
So it will only show you matches that are within a certain credit score range.
998 to 999. No, but I did read. So in the US, I think in the UK it goes up to 999. In the US, I think it was 850.
Oh, right.
So it only approves people who've got over 700 or something like that. Don't quote me.
Okay.
But yeah, Tony, there's loads of these apps anyway. So you've got Millionaire Match. Did some research on this. There's a League and different ones like this. And this is the big question here. If you are now a millionaire, do you want to now mix with the high rollers?
Are we talking about an app that does the whole sugar daddy and sugar baby?
No,
this
is for millionaires to meet each other.
You have to be a millionaire.
Yeah, there's no sugar daddy on here.
Or sugar baby. Okay.
Sugar baby or sugar mummy.
Okay. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? I mean, you could call it elitist, but let's be honest, because like you want to do when you're a millionaire, you might be going to certain restaurants or doing certain things that you would probably want, your date to do with you. And when it comes to splitting the bill, imagine you're dating someone on minimum wage, and you're going to some yacht club, and like the bill comes, so you got to go splits. They're not going to be able to afford that.
Yeah, should we go Dutch?
So you're always going to have to cover the bill.
But you raise a really good point, Tony. Would you, if you won the lottery, would you date someone on minimum wage or let's say out of work?
I think love is love, Chris.
Yeah.
Love is love.
No, that's absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised if some millionaires will set that as a factor that says, no, I wouldn't.
And this is why, I'm just going to bring it back again.
Yeah.
R-Rap.
Yeah.
Listen, Score, they've come up with a really good idea. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
But we can go much further than that. As you say, setting the parameters of your credit score.
Yeah.
But let's just get the salary on there, for heaven's sake. What's the point? People can drag their parameters. There might even be a sweet spot. Maybe you don't want somebody too wealthy. We'll have their savings.
Yeah.
How much have they got in savings right now? Where do they live? Do they own their house or do they rent it?
Potential earning based on their career trajectory.
Yes.
And they can forecast. But yeah.
Their degree and everything else.
Or you can actually have multiple different data points. So if they are, when we talked about attractiveness, they are a 10, they could earn less because it balances out.
Yes.
But if they're more of a 3 and a 4, they're going to need a lot more net worth.
So basically, everybody gets an overall rating.
Yeah.
It'll be like 7.1, and then you click on it, and it says 7.1 because their looks are a 2, but they're
a billionaire.
500. Yeah, exactly.
Some people actually might want that. I don't know.
And then you go on one, and it's actually a 6, and it says looks 10, wealth 10, but they did try to murder someone on the last date.
Criminal records.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it's all interesting stuff, and I think it is a big question of the elite. It's something I've never thought about, Tony. I'm sure you haven't either. Of somebody's wealth when you're dating, but certainly if you became a millionaire, it may be something that comes into focus.
I have to agree, and I'm quite glad you brought this point up, because whether you're male, female, or whatever, when you are a millionaire, your options have widened.
Yeah.
The day before, since you weren't a millionaire. So now that you're literally the day of turning into a millionaire, you are immediately more attractive.
Yeah.
To
the wider world.
The wider world, exactly. So you're going to have wider options. Your confidence levels are going to go up. You're going to be like, I'll just move on.
You might have to allow for that.
Yeah.
But I did want to know, speaking of minimum wage and all the rest of it, there is a Valentine's deal this Wednesday that is ripe for anybody. And that's at Wetherspoons. We referenced it earlier. So it's £25 for two mains, 2 desserts, and 2 drinks. You can even upgrade to a bottle of Prosecco for just £6 extra. So you have 2 mains, 2 desserts, and a bottle of Prosecco for just £31, Tony. How about that?
That is a great deal. I mean, you're getting the whole evening meal for such a reasonable price. I mean, in certain places, that would just get you just dessert, as we talked about, and a drink.
Yep.
And you're getting 2 mains, 2 desserts, and 2 drinks.
Yeah. But even, you get that bottle of Prosecco, that'll keep you going all evening, won't it?
Oh, yeah.
You get that for 31.
Yeah, so did it say it's the pink one, or was that just any?
But I bet you can get the rosé one.
That is great, because you can easily spend what is that, 25, 6 quid extra, like £31. I mean, you could easily spend that for one meal.
Yeah,
one person,
easily. Even in somewhere like Prezzo, I bet.
Yeah. And you know what? If I was to go to Wetherspoons, some of them are in nicer locations than others. Just choose one that was in a nice environment before. Like, it was like an old bank building or
There's
something.
loads of beautiful Wetherspoons right across the country.
So, let's not... I would say Valentine's Day is going to be really busy for your stereotypical restaurants, like the Italian and stuff. They're going to be fully booked. Think wider. Wetherspoons.
Casual. Keep it casual.
And it's better than nothing if you're stuck for cash, right? Totally. Right. If we move on to segment 3, which is picking next week's numbers. So the story that I want to begin with is...
I'm excited about this one.
I don't know, if anyone has worked in an office in central London, they will be very familiar with this brand. And it's called Pret a Manger.
Yep.
And I have mixed feelings with Pret a Manger. I do like it. It's just like over time, I'm like, oh, it's like 5 of them within like 30 seconds of each other.
I quite like it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've got friends who don't like it as much, and someone who worked there who complains about it a lot. But, I'm sorry, I go in there, I get the best tuna baguette on the market.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been going up and up in price. But that tuna baguette, I've been having that tuna baguette since I was a kid. Tony.
That is,
you know, I go out with my
good.
parents and we get that tuna baguette, and it's blooming delicious. And you can always just rely on it. It's made in the store in the morning. Mm-hmm. You know, what's not to like?
I think the prices have gone up. You know, it's not exactly a cheap sandwich.
Well, it's actually ridiculous now. If you get a sandwich and crisps, it's like 5 something. Maybe
I haven't stepped inside for ages.
It's almost 6.
I don't know. It's good, and I like it around Christmas and stuff like that. But I don't know if you're very familiar with the Eats. Do you remember that the Eats store?
They were brilliant as well.
They were good, but then obviously they got taken over
by Pret, right?
Pret. And what Pret did was that instead of just creating the same standard Pret store, they turned them into veggie Prets. So just vegetarian food. And that doesn't appeal to me. And I was like, what? Can't you just make it a normal Pret? You can have both. I just don't
get it. Have a massive veggie section in your Pret, your normal Pret, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, this was popping up where I used to work in Angel in London. It just popped up, there's a veggie Pret around the corner. No, I don't. It's
never busy.
Veggie meal.
I've never seen it busy before. Okay, don't get me wrong. There was that big spike in like vegan, vegetarian food. Like hipsters were really into it. But then, has it stood the test of time? No, because they've closed the last 2 dedicated veggie Prets in London. So they're converting them back to standard stores. You know, the experiment has failed, and you know that's the end of the concept. 8 years after it started.
I have to say about this, as I say, just create a huge dedicated veggie section in your store. I think this could work if it were a really good veggie or vegan brand on its own.
Yeah.
But it's Pret, you know, it's not as if Pret reinvents the wheel or anything. I just think this was doomed. But it did make me laugh because they paid a decent wedge to buy out Eats.
Yeah.
Just before COVID. Came up with this crazy idea just to rebrand them all as veggie Prets. As you say, it's completely gone now, so they wasted a lot of money on that. And do you remember Eat, Tony? That pigs in blanket meal with the mashed potato and the gravy.
I used to get what's it called, the chicken pot pie.
Oh,
I think it was. Yeah, and just a normal like steak and kidney pie as well. But yeah, so my first number is 2 because they closed the last 2 veggie Prets.
Good.
The next one...
End of an era.
End of an era, yeah. The next one I had was an interesting one that came out from Japan. So I guess the headline of this was... it's on The Guardian, and it says that dying man tells police he was on Japan's most wanted list for 50 years.
Gosh.
So he's now deceased. He was called Satoshi...
Satoshi?
Yeah, Satoshi.
It's not the guy who invented Bitcoin, is it?
No. Same name. But he was allegedly a member of the radical group in the 1970s that bombed Japanese firms. And I guess he's been in hiding or gotten away with it for like 50 years. And how satisfying is that? You know, he's on his deathbed and he's just going like, by the way, guys... You didn't get me. I'm letting you know.
He probably wanted to also get it off his chest. He was carrying that secret around.
Yeah, how did he get away with this? I guess back in the day, you could just... Did he just change the way that he looked, I guess? But this is the 1970s. But yeah, he was on the, I guess, most wanted list.
That is just crazy. But, you know, the good thing is it does say he disclosed... previously unknown details about the bombings that his group carried out as well. So
DNA tests conducted on him and other roads showed that they were compatible. So yeah, it seems like it's true. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting one that I saw in the Guardian. I said 50, so 50 years, he got away with it, and he could have gotten away with it even longer. Like no one would be none the wiser. But he said, "Yeah, I'm going to tell the police just before I die." So we've gone from the old, and now the next one that I have is to the young. So you know what? In the 90s, I kept hearing about sharks all the time. You know, shark attacks. I don't know. I was watching like a lot of movies that had about shark attacks in them. Like
I think Jaws kicked it all
Jaws,
off, though, didn't it?
Or like just even
So
documentaries.
big. Yeah.
But I haven't heard about a shark attack for a while.
Well, there's so much else to be scared about these days.
Oh yeah, just trying to survive in your current job or keeping a job basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about a 10-year-old Maryland boy was airlifted to US after being bitten by a shark at Bahamas resort. So one of the things that I've always wanted to do was go to like, I don't know, Cancun or somewhere in the Bahamas and just like swim in that beautiful kind of ocean that they have. But it hasn't really crossed my mind for a while about being, sharks can come and attack you.
I encountered a very very, very, very small shark on an island in Thailand.
Really? How close did it get?
Well, I was in the water and it did get fairly close. I just thought, I wonder what that is. And then actually this expert goes, it's the shark. That's
it's a baby shark.
Baby, just a harmless one, I think.
Oh, wow. So, it looks he didn't die, but he's having to go on, he underwent surgery, which seems to be successful. But yeah, he had to be airlifted to the United States. It's a stable condition.
I'm just pleased he's all right, and I think he's lucky it wasn't an XL bully dog, but more on that later.
Yeah, I mean, he survived it, so thank God. So he's 10 years old, still got a lot of life to live. But yeah, that's number 10 there.
Oh, I tell you what, it is scary, isn't it? All these shark attacks. And Jaws really was a seminal movie, wasn't it? Still even now.
Apparently with sharks, if you sock it in the nose, you actually disorientate it, and then that's what you meant to do.
Would you have the foresight to be able to do that, do you think, at the time?
Oh yeah, I mean with my power, I'll probably knock it out, and it will start drowning.
Yeah, no, absolutely sacrilege. But anyway, Tony, on to some of the news that I've seen this week, and you'll be pleased to know we do get on to XL Bully Dogs a bit later, so don't worry. But the first one that caught my eye, we talked about the guy who got away with it for 50 years. Well, this is just horrendous. Philadelphia man exonerated after nearly 40 years in prison. So this poor chap was incarcerated for nearly 40 years, but he was released from prison on Monday after a judge ruled his conviction be overturned.
Wow.
Harold Stassen, 71, was found guilty after prosecutors said back in 1986 that he set a fire that killed a man in Philadelphia. And he's now been exonerated. I just don't know what to say about this. 40 years, Tony!
So he was in his prime at 31 when he went into prison. He's come out 71.
Yeah.
That's a prime. He's taken away. I don't know if he's got a family or anything, but like, those are okay. He got to experience his 20s, but the 30s is really where you really start feeling comfortable and experiencing life.
Yeah.
But this isn't an isolated case. If we hear about this stuff all the time, isn't it? 40 years.
Well, this is the thing, and the police have kindly said we've been working on this case in various ways for over a decade, and are elated that he's now home with his family to start the next chapter of his life. Well, he's 71.
Yeah.
Come on, mate, he's not got long. I apologise, that was the Pennsylvania Innocence Project who actually filed the petition for his release. It wouldn't be unfair on them, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, so the reason was, you're probably wondering, his conviction decades back was based on science that was considered flawed by a judge on Monday. So it just shows, the science evolves over time. There are also conflicting testimonies from a teenager after the fire.
Yeah.
So he was serving a life sentence without parole. But yeah, the current fire investigations rely on a more modern understanding of fire. And that's why we keep saying fire safety paramount. But yeah,
I would
this guy
assume
up. His son was there celebrating after being released.
Oh, he has got children. Incredible. I would say that's one way to become a millionaire because I reckon compensation would be in the millions.
Yeah.
But would you spend 40 years in prison just to get 1.7 million or whatever it is, the bare basics?
No, and he can do media work now.
Yeah.
So write a book all about it. You know, get a ghostwriter. But yes, that's the number 40 I'm going there with for this poor guy Harold, who very unfair on him. But yeah, I've got another one with 4 in it. So, man woke up to win £4 million on the Euro Millions. Can you imagine, Tony? Seconds later, they couldn't afford a meal deal. This is what the title says.
What?
So the email said, "You've won £4 on Euro Millions," and this guy woke up and he saw million and he saw 4 and he saw a pound sign and he thought he'd won £4 million. And it just wasn't the case. We only won £4, and this came from a Reddit post. But there's actually a lot of people replied. I don't know if you've seen this post, Tony, but a lot of people replied saying they've had similar things, and you can see it does sort of look like
You've won 4 on Euro Millions, yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, it's when you wake up in the morning and you get your phone, see what's going on, and you're a bit disoriented.
Yeah.
I can sort of see how it would happen. But captioning his post, this bloke on Reddit wrote, "Not long woken up, my brain just saw £4 a million was the greatest 3 seconds of my life." Well, I've had even better 3 seconds. But
You know what I always get, you know, if I do win a lucky dip or like 10 quid or a few quid, when you get that email that says you have won a prize.
yeah.
And then you're like, okay, this could be a lot of different things. But we haven't done some research. They should give you a number to ring. I think it's when you know you've won the big jackpot.
Yeah, or just say something like, "Be prepared.
Yeah.
This is big."
Yeah. Have your cover story ready because it's coming.
But yeah, a lot of different people have had this experience. But yeah, final one. So obviously that was number 4. So it's £4 million. The final one for me, Tony. I mean,
This is close to your heart. This is something you're very passionate about. I know.
People are now asking, how much longer can this go on? An 8-year-old boy was bitten in the head by an XL bully dog this weekend. And Tony, as I say, the debate is turning. People now are up in arms asking, should these dogs be stopped once and for all? And by that I mean ended.
Is he still alive? No, he's alive, right?
I believe so. A man and a woman have been charged. So this was in Bootle, Merseyside by Liverpool, on Saturday. The boy was taken to hospital with life-changing injuries. He's in a serious but stable condition. So I'm glad he's stable, but it's changed his life, Tony. Amanda Young and Lewis Young, both of Wadham Road in Bootle, have been charged with being in charge of a dog dangerously out of control. The other thing is, you know, the problem here is, Tony, that these dog owners are having their lives now ruined because they haven't kept this vicious dog under control. What's going to happen to them now?
So wasn't there a case where the person did do prison time? Yeah.
So this is happening all over. We keep talking about this, that new rules did come into force recently where you cannot own a dog without an exemption certificate. Those registered dogs must be kept on a lead and muzzled in public. But Tony, people are now asking, should these dogs have exemption certificates or should they be shipped out of the country?
You got to really weigh out the pros and cons. Like, what is the pro of having an XL bully dog? Just get yourself a poodle, like you said before.
Yeah.
If you want a dog, get a Chihuahua.
That's a great idea. Why don't we just create a
Labrador.
new scheme where it's called the Poodle Swap Scheme?
Yeah.
You
Swap your XL bully dog.
Trade in your XL bully dog for a poodle. We'll take care of the bully dog because we'll ship them over to the US where they're from.
And you'll get like a £25 Amazon voucher as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can still watch your old XL bully dog on webcam. So I think they're legal in the US. Yeah. And they can just stay in an amazing sort of zoo for XL bully dogs.
And no kid's going to die or you're not going to do prison time.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. And to be honest, if zoos keep lions and tigers and stuff like that, I'm sure they can deal with a few XL bully dogs.
Yeah,
Throw the meat over the fence.
Totally.
But Tony, on that one, it was just showing. I didn't want to go with the number 8 because it was too tragic. But I went with the number 30 because a 30-year-old man was arrested as part of that one, Tony. So yeah, would you like to let us know what our numbers for next week's draw are?
So yeah, the numbers I shall be getting for this week's draw is 2, 4, 10, 30, 40, and 50.
I just think it's just so kind of symmetrical in terms of, well, not even symmetrical, it's just round numbers. And we've not tried that before. And I bet a lot of people, when they play the lottery, think, oh, we need to go a bit round and mix it up. There is an equal chance of any 6 numbers being drawn out in the draw. That's just probability for you. So let's just try something a bit different.
You know what? We've never done this before. These are all even numbers.
Yeah.
They're all even.
And there's something quite sexy about that on Valentine's week.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Loving
life.
Loving these numbers in time for Valentine's Day.
No, I'm in love.
I'm in love, yeah.
But Tony, so, you know, and it did get me thinking, because obviously these are unusual numbers to come up with. And you know, you see often the research says these are the winning balls that come up the most.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, we need we love mathematics. Maybe we need a mathematician to message us. The numbers that have been drawn the most, aren't those just anomalies? So those should be the numbers you avoid.
Yeah, because they come up so often.
All things being equal,
yeah,
the probability is exactly the same of every number coming up. So it's actually the ones that have come up the least that perhaps we should be.
I think you're right. I think with even numbers, these are couples, like couples and Valentines. That's what I'm thinking. Like 2.
Oh.
No?
Well, yes, it is. But then should we have... Well, actually, this is like equal rights LGBTQ+. Because they're all even. They're all of the same type. You see what I mean? Rather than opposite. Yeah, right. So we're being inclusive. Because that is another thing about Valentine's Day. There are some stereotypes around Valentine's Day is more for sort of straight couples.
Oh, no, it's definitely
roles,
not.
And not by our book or in our book.
We need to see more of the the LGBTQ plus A. What's the other one? Yeah, plus. Yeah, they should equally celebrate Valentine's Day. You don't see a lot. No, maybe some of the ads are a bit more.
I think now it's getting better.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's getting much better.
But hey, all I would say is that Valentine's Day, don't feel pressured to celebrate it. I think if you do want to celebrate it, enjoy it, embrace it, have a good, have a laugh, spend it with the ones that you love. And if you spend it by yourself, I think the most important thing I wanted to kind of end with was that you've got to love yourself. That is, what did Whitney Houston say?
Sort yourself out.
She said the greatest love is the one that where you love yourself. Because if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love someone else?
I think, Tony, that is actually the best advice there is. And it's a fantastic song as well. I'm going to listen on the way home. And you're absolutely right. You've got to learn to love yourself and be happy with yourself before you can be happy with anything else in your life and give the right love to somebody else as well.
And if you're a single guy by yourself on Valentine's Day, just like, you can express yourself however you want. Express your love however you want to do it.
Or a woman.
Or a woman,
anyone, anybody.
And there's no shame in doing whatever you do.
Self-love.
For self-love. And, we'll just kind of end it there, that, love yourself, love each other, and
have a wonderful Valentine's week and day and night.
And we shall see you next week
on Win Me the Lottery. Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.